While producing some of the best wideouts in the NFL in recent memory, the Clemson wideout position is still extremely deep and talented for 2016. We bring in Ryan Kantor from Shaking the Southland as we continue to go through the ACC, knocking out positional previews. So, Ryan, Mike Williams, game one, it was a difficult sight to watch, him crashing into the goalpost, out for the rest of the season after catching just 2 passes in the first quarter. And Clemson looked to be having issues at wide receiver. Now, on the surface, it appeared as though they covered up for the loss, but at the same time, they were kind of missing that big home run threat.
Yeah, absolutely true. Clemson has a great reputation for their wide receivers, and deservingly so, with Nuke Hopkins, Sammy Watkins in the NFL. But last year when Mike Williams got hurt, they really kind of struggled to find a deep threat for a while. From my seat in the upper deck, it didn't actually seem like quite as of a severe injury as it was. And then when he didn't come back, Clemson, especially at Louisville, they just didn't have a guy that they could throw it downfield and just expect to win the one-on-one, the 50-50 ball. They just didn't find that for a while. Eventually, Deon Cain emerged, and the lack of someone who was able to do that is really what it gave such a big opening to Deon Cain. Deon Cain ended up with 34 receptions for 582 yards, and this is only in a partial season because he didn't play right away. That's 17 yards per reception. So he really provided Clemson a deep threat. Clemson maybe wins the national championship if he is a little bit more mature, doesn't get himself suspended for that national championship game. Now he'll be the backup for the returning Mike Williams. So Mike Williams returns. In the season prior, he had 57 receptions, 1,030 receiving yards. That's 18 yards per reception. So now Clemson has not one but 2 exceptional deep threats. It's going to be a big difference for an offense that was already great. So their boundary position is much better than a year ago.
And Deon Cain, of course, able to accomplish that as just a freshman. Looking at Artavis Scott, one of the big playmakers in the conference over the last 2 years, 76 catches as a freshman, 93 last year. So the receiving situation seemed to be on his shoulders after the Williams injury, but because of the depth and a lot of guys that people didn't know about at the time, Artavis Scott actually wasn't necessarily, appeared as though he was going to catch every other pass, but that didn't necessarily turn out to be the case as other guys stepped forward.
Yeah, Artavis Scott still led the entire conference in receptions. He had 93. And what's crazy is he did it with a torn meniscus for part of the season. There was about 5 games there where he was battling through an injury. And he's a shifty guy, a lot of like sweeps and screen passes. So lots of receptions, not nearly the yardage per reception compared to a Mike Williams or Deon Cain. He's really tough. In that ACC championship game victory, there was a play where he got up to the 1 yard line. There was a UNC receiver on his leg, and he just pulled him and shoulders pushed a guy over and got in the end zone. He's just a tough, quick receiver, and now he won't have to carry the load because you have both Mike Williams and Deon Cain playing opposite him on the boundary. So he's going to be a phenomenal guy who doesn't have to be relied upon quite so heavily. In addition, Ray McLeod comes back after a very good freshman year, where McLeod was the only one taking snaps away from Scott in the field position. So now Ray will also be healthy. He's another guy who battled injuries, and he'll take some of the pressure off of Artavis Scott so Scott can stay healthy. So with that kind of depth, Artavis is the 1, Ray is the 2 at the field position. Tigers should have a lot more depth with experience at the receiver position.
And McLeod with a big 36-yard touchdown catch against NC State in a game that Clemson was going back and forth in that one until they pulled away just after halftime. That's the field position, the boundary position as well. We addressed in the slot, of course, Hunter Renfrow burst onto the national scene with a big day against Alabama, but he was a main contributor from the get-go.
He was the talk of spring football, and everyone kind of just blew it off and kind of thought, here's Dabo just talking up a walk-on again. Maybe he's just talking him up to motivate other players, but it was real. And he wasn't just a plucky wide receiver possession guy. He's an excellent wide receiver. He had 33 receptions, 452 yards. He had a big touchdown against Louisville. He had 2 touchdowns against Alabama. I think 88 yards, was really outplaying their cornerbacks. And now he comes back. He was only a redshirt freshman last year. So he comes back with 3 more years of eligibility. and he's an excellent slot receiver, probably one of the better slot receivers Clemson has had in a while. So between Mike Williams, Artavis Scott, and Renfrow all on the field at the same time, Clemson hasn't had receivers this good in a couple years. Behind Renfrow is Travion Thompson, who is a big recruit. He's 6'2", so I'm a little surprised to see him in the slot, but it seems that that's just where the availability was, and he's the next best guy on the roster. So Travion Thompson hopefully will get some snaps as well, and we'll see him improve and contribute more as the year goes on, as his career continues.
And to extend your point on Renfrow against NC State, the aforementioned 56-41 game that was pretty tight into the third quarter, had one of his best days of the season with 93 yards. And in the college football playoff game leading to the national title game against Oklahoma, nice day for him there with a touchdown reception and 4 catches total. So Renfrow with the outstanding sophomore or freshman season leading into 2016, and Clemson loaded at wideout despite the loss of Sharon Peak after catching 50 balls in 2015. Ryan Kantor from Shaking the Southland breaking down Clemson's deep and talented bunch at wide receiver. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.